Usher finally breaks his silence what Diddy did to him at 14. What really happened between Usher and Diddy when he was just 14? After decades of silence, Usher is finally telling the world. Usher Raymond, one of the most iconic voices in R&B, is finally speaking out about the dark chapter from his teenage years with Sean Diddy Combs. For years, rumors swirled, but now the truth is starting to unravel, and it's more shocking than anyone imagined. Usher's rise in Diddy's shadowy mentorship. Before Usher became a global sensation, before the Diamond Records and Super Bowl halftime shows, he was just a 13-year-old with a dream, discovered and brought into the music industry's inner circle. And that's when he met Diddy. In the early 90s, a young Usher was sent to live with Sean Combs, then a rising executive at Uptown Records. The idea? Groom the boy into a superstar. But what was supposed to be musical mentorship turned into something else. Something no child should have experienced. Usher moved into Diddy's home in New York City. He was just 14. Diddy was in his 20s, already a known name in the industry, surrounded by fame, parties, and chaos. And Usher, he was thrown into that world overnight. What Usher saw at 14, the party lifestyle. In past interviews, Usher hinted at the wild environment he was exposed to, but recently he's begun opening up more directly. He revealed that Diddy would take him to nightclubs. Yes, at 14. He witnessed adult parties, champagne showers, half-naked women, and behavior that no minor should ever be around. On the Howard Stern show, Usher admitted, "There was a lot going on in that house, stuff that made me grow up way too fast." He confessed to seeing adult things and parties that felt dangerous. In his words, it wasn't normal for a teenage boy to see all that. But back then, Usher didn't know better. To him, this was how you made it in the music world. You kept your mouth shut and you observed. But some things, he couldn't forget. Allegations surface what Diddy is accused of. Now fast forward to 2024, multiple lawsuits have been filed against Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of sexual abuse, exploitation, and human trafficking. Former associates, partners, and victims are finally speaking out, painting a picture of a man who abused his power and operated behind a curtain of celebrity, wealth, and intimidation. One of the most chilling lawsuits alleges that Diddy used his fame to groom young boys and girls, offering them fame while exposing them to a world of manipulation and fear. And this brings everything Usher ever hinted at back into the spotlight. Fans and critics alike began asking, what really happened to Usher during those years? Was he just a witness or something more? The confession Usher speaks out in 2025. In a recent podcast appearance, Usher finally let down the veil. He didn't name Diddy directly, but he didn't have to. He said, "You think you're being groomed for stardom, but really you're being thrown to the wolves." Usher revealed how he felt used, controlled, and silenced. He described moments where he felt unsafe, where he wanted to leave but couldn't, and where grown adults around him failed to protect him. And while he stopped short of accusing Diddy of physical abuse, he strongly implied that his emotional and psychological health was deeply affected by those years. "There were things I saw and felt that no child should have to process. I carried that pain into my adulthood. It shaped who I became, the good and the broken." Backlash and reactions. The internet exploded. Fans were furious. Why was a 14-year-old allowed to live with an adult man surrounded by drugs, sex, and alcohol? Where were the industry gatekeepers? Why didn't anyone protect Usher? Some critics blame the music industry's culture, saying it has always fed on young talent without ever protecting them. Others called for a full investigation into what Usher experienced and what other young stars might have suffered under Diddy's wing. Even other celebrities began to speak out, saying they too were scared of Diddy or had seen things they weren't allowed to talk about. The bigger pattern, Usher wasn't alone. Usher isn't the only one. Diddy mentored other young artists too, some of whom have also spoken about being manipulated, mistreated, or pushed into risky situations. A former assistant revealed anonymously, "It was like a cult. You didn't question Diddy, you didn't talk back. If you did, your career was over." And while Usher was lucky enough to escape, rebuild his image, and become a legend, others didn't make it out unscathed. Why Usher stayed silent so long? For years, people wondered, why didn't Usher speak out sooner? He finally explained, because I didn't want to be blacklisted. I was scared. I owed my career to these people. But silence comes with a cost. You lose yourself a little more each day. Usher added that therapy, fatherhood, and faith helped him heal and gave him the strength to finally speak up now. He's not just speaking for himself. He's speaking for every young artist who was exploited under the guise of opportunity. Usher's story isn't just about music. It's about power, silence, and survival. And as more victims speak out, the walls are finally closing in on Diddy. So the question is, how many more voices are out there waiting to be heard? How many more secrets are hiding behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood? Because if Usher, one of the biggest names in R&B, can carry this pain silently for 30 years, who else is still hiding their truth? Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. Legal fallout. What happens next? As the lawsuits against Diddy pile up, the music industry is under intense scrutiny. Federal investigations have been launched into Diddy's alleged financial dealings, and his inner circle is slowly unraveling. Sources claim several high-profile individuals are preparing to testify, and that what's already public is just the tip of the iceberg. For Usher, speaking out might mean revisiting past trauma, but it also positions him as a pivotal figure in exposing abuse of power. His bravery has inspired others to come forward, backup dancers, interns, even session musicians. Each story adds weight to the collective cry for justice. Lawyers are now speculating that Usher's testimony could be requested in court. While he hasn't confirmed any legal action, insiders say he's cooperating with authorities behind the scenes. The public stands with Usher. Online, the public reaction has been overwhelmingly supportive. Fans have flooded social media with messages of encouragement, thanking Usher for sharing his painful truth. Hashtags like #JusticeForUsher and #DiddyExposed have trended worldwide. Even mainstream media, once hesitant to challenge moguls like Diddy, is finally reporting the full story. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and investigative journalists are digging deeper, questioning what other stars might have endured during their early years under the influence of powerful figures. Usher's revelation has opened a dam, and the flood is just beginning.